This is back to 99, back with another build video. So basically one of the things that I like to do in the rec is I like to wear brightly colored shoes, preferably highlighted green like these here. And that way, when you're wide open, your teammates have less of an excuse to say they don't see you. And they probably still will say they didn't see you, but I like to sort of make it a little more obvious that they're lying. But that's just me. So here we are into the build. 6'10", 216 pounds, 6'10" wingspan. Basically, the way I look at it is minimum wingspan for deep bomber is just like something you have to do, in my mind at least. Because last year they weren't giving it to bigs, and so why would you be in 2026 with it available to you and you just, say, nah, it's cool, I'll make the wingspan one tick taller or longer. So, but you can do whatever you want, obviously. But for me, it's like, if it's in the game and I can get it, I want it kind of thing. So basically on this kind of build, you're going to have to use your cap breakers on your playmaking. By the end of it, whenever we get to the end of the video, I'll show you the cap breaker screen, of course. But basically, you're going to end up with a 70 speed with ball, a ball handle that I believe stops around 74, but you can get it over 70 and you'll get unpluckable. And then your pass accuracy goes up to at least a 76. And so you'll have the silver passing badges, and that's pretty much all you need. When you're making a center build, one of the things you want to consider is guarding a smaller center, right? So you could be 7'1" and you'd only have like a 60 something perimeter and whatever. So you're gonna get cooked by their speed, their agility, and then just the stuns that happen when they do the dribble spams. With this build here, if you see that you're guarding someone smaller than 6'10", you just put on a takeover that's plus 10 to perimeter, and you'll be able to keep up. One of the things I had to sacrifice on this build was the interior defense and the blocking. I would obviously want them higher, but the point of this build is that you have a 3 that can guard any 3 essentially, or not any center or person playing a 3 in the 3v3 modes, or you can guard any center, right? So theoretically, you can have a takeover that gives you a plus, 10 or 15 to your interior defense, and you can have one for blocking. And if you see you're lined up against an inside center, you use the interior defense takeover. If you want to contest someone that's your height, you make one for the block. If you want to guard someone smaller, you make a takeover where you're just straight defense, perimeter, I guess you can say. Hell, you can make a plus 10 or 15 to your rebounding if you wanted to. So whatever kind of thing that you think is glaring on this build, or that's a problem, you can fix it. If you want more speed with ball, make a speed with ball take, So, but the point is, offensively, you're going to see here in the cap breaker screen, there's a lot of growth and potential for the build. And pretty much you clamp at all levels. I think it's a sort of a perfect center build, and it's a perfect build that you can play in the 3s or the 5s with. And if you want more rebounding, or if that's something that your team is concerned with, like I said, you can make a plus 10 defensive rebound intake, so you get to 90. You could plus 1 or plus 2 your silver rebound chaser to Hall of Fame, or you could just make a different build. But at that point, it's personal choice, and I think that if you went this way, you'd win a lot in the random rec mode for sure. So the drive and dunk can go up to a 90, so that gives you both sets of contact dunks. You have all the big man standing contact dunks, all the standing contact dunks that there are in the game. You can have access to those. If you have a shooting specialization, is which I would recommend for this build, you could take your plus 2 and take your 91 mid-range up to a 93 and get set shot specialist on Hall of Fame. Then you can plus 1 that to legend, and then you can use your other specialization plus 2 to take your Deadeye to Hall of Fame. Obviously, you want to max out the pass accuracy. You want to get the ball handle to over a 70, and you want to get your speed of ball to a 70. Down the line, if you wanted to, after you go for the drive and dunk, you could easily put another +1 from one of the seasons into your 3-pointer to get that to a 91, just as a little sort of placebo or boost to your already high 3 ball. Especially if, for me, I'm not running a takeover that specifically gives me a boost to 3. So I'm like, sure, I'll just boost it myself eventually one day. And if you're not worried about the contest, or you're not worried about the interior defense or the perimeter defense, you could run one of the, the sharp versions of a takeover. But that's the build. Back to now.